In this video, we're going to introduce our next standard, EE.4d. In order to be successful in this, you need to be able to solve and graph simple and two-step inequalities. Okay, inequality, that's a new term for us. What is an inequality? Before we get to the definition, I want to give you an example of an inequality. This statement says, in the United States, you must be at least 18 to vote, 18 years old. We could represent this with the inequality y is greater than or equal to 18. So that's how we would read this statement, y is greater than or equal to 18. I think you've all seen the greater than sign before. This little bar underneath it might be something new. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Here are some definitions for you. An inequality is a mathematical sentence formed by placing an inequality symbol between two expressions. So if we go through these, and I will give you the names of them again on the next slide. This symbol means less than. This symbol means greater than. This symbol with the line underneath it means less than or equal to. And this symbol with the line underneath it means greater than or equal to. So you've seen less than, greater than. These might be new. We're going to be working with solving inequalities. So inequalities look similar to an equation, but instead of having one solution when you get to the end, like x equals 4, the solution to an inequality is a set of values that make the inequality true. When we get to solving, we'll see more what that means. All right, here are the symbols. Make sure you have all 4 of them down with what they mean and how we say them. This symbol means less than. This symbol means greater than. We want to get out of the habit of just thinking about less than and greater than being the open mouth of the alligator faces the bigger number, because in an inequality, when you read from left to right, this symbol means whatever's on the left side is less than whatever's on the right side of the inequality. Same with this one. You don't want to just think of, oh, the alligator wants to eat this number, so we point the open mouth this way. You want to say from right to left, this number, whatever's on this side of the symbol, is greater than whatever's on this side. And then here are those two that might be new. A less than sign with a line underneath it means less than or equal to. And same thing with a greater than symbol with a line underneath it. It means greater than or equal to. We're going to talk about the difference between those. Okay, so we said that the solution to an inequality is a set of values. So it's not just one number, it's a set of numbers. So for example, the inequality t is less than 5. T is less than 5 means that all numbers less than 5 are a part of the solution. On a graph, we would show that by putting a circle on 5 and then shading or making a darkened line over the number line with an arrow saying all numbers this way, and the arrow means going on forever, would be a solution to this inequality. T is some quantity less than 5. So t could be 4, t could be -2, t could be 2.75. It could be anything all the way up to, but not including 5. Because if t was 5, it wouldn't be less than 5. So a little thing to note, an open circle when you graph your solution goes with the less than or greater than sign. It means that the solution does not include that number, but goes all the way up to that number. When we solve an inequality, it's going to look a lot like solving an equation. So when we see the inequality 2x is greater than or equal to 8, that's what this says, 2x is greater than or equal to 8. We're going to solve that pretty similarly to what we would do in solving an equation. So we've got 2 times x. We're going to undo that by dividing both sides by 2. 2 over 2 cancels. We bring down x, bring down the symbol greater than or equal to, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the solution here is x greater than or equal to 4. Now, the way that we're going to graph this solution is to start at 4. And in this case, this is different than the last one. We're going to put a closed circle. Oh, that's not really on 4. It's supposed to be right on 4. A closed circle on 4. And then we're going to shade in the line all numbers that are greater than that. So if we, and then we put an arrow on the end to say it goes on forever. So look at what I have here. I solved the inequality and got the solution set x greater than or equal to 4, meaning that any number I plug in here that is 4 or more, if it's 4.1 or 4.2 or 7 or 12 or a million, that would make this inequality true. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. Greater than or equal to is one of our options. So we look at what's in the set. I've got 5. If I plugged in a 5 here, 2 times 5 is 10, which is greater than 8, so it makes it true. Any number in this direction going on forever of the number line would be a solution. And again, the difference here is that we close the circle to show that the value 4 is included in the solution. Here's another one to solve. We have 4x plus 3 is less than 11. You're going to solve this the same way that you would solve 4x plus 3 is equal to 11, except all that's different is the symbol and that we need to graph our solution. So we've got a variable x times 4 plus 3. The last thing that happened was add 3, so that's the first thing that we need to undo. Undo plus 3 by subtracting 3 from both sides. Bring down 4x. 11 minus 3 is 8. So we have 4x is less than 8. To get x by itself, now we need to divide both sides by 4, because what's happening to x? It's being multiplied by 4. You undo that with division. 4 divided by 4 cancels. Bring down the x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Oh, what did I do there? It's not an equation. It's an inequality. So we got x less than 2. So look at the symbol. We've got, oops, sorry. There is no or equal to. There's no line underneath it. So we know that it's going to be an open circle on 2. Now, less than 2, we're going to shade in a direction that gets all the values that are less than 2, and then draw an arrow at the end to show that that line goes forever. Any number in that direction that's less than 2 is going to make this inequality true. So the value, the set of values that makes this true is anything less than 2, or x less than 2, open circle on 2. All right, t minus 2 is less than or equal to 1. What's happening to the variable? 2 is being subtracted to it. All we have to undo is add 2 to both sides. Minus 2 plus 2 cancels. We bring down the t. Bring down the symbol, less than or equal to. 1 plus 2 is 3. And that's our solution. T is less than or equal to 3. So what kind of circle do I need for this symbol, opened or closed? Less than or equal to is going to be a closed circle. So I'm going to go to 3, put a closed circle on 3. Now less than 3 are going to be all numbers again in this direction. So you're going to do something to show this is the side that I'm coloring, make an arrow, and that shows your solution set is all values less than 3 will make the inequality true. All right, I want you to take these 2 examples, copy them down, test them out, and then you'll need to pause while you do that. When you unpause, the solution will be there. So pause. Okay, now for the solution. Add 4 to both sides. It's going to be a little tight. 10x greater than 20. This is a plus sign. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. We get x greater than 2. So your solution should be an open circle on 2 and shaded that way. I hope you all pause, and I hope you're checking your answers. All right, this one, negative 2 is less than or equal to negative 6 plus 4x. Just because the variable's on the other side doesn't mean it changes it. What's happening to the variable? it's being multiplied by 4, and then negative 6 is added to it. So we're going to undo add negative 6 by adding positive 6. Class isn't over. Don't go anywhere. Bring down the symbol. So negative 6 plus 6 cancels. Bring down your 4x. Add 6 to this side. Negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4. We get 4 is less than 4x. Divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and we get 1 is less than or equal to x. Now, when you are thinking about this, you're going to want to change it around. Flip it and flip the sign so that you have x is greater than or equal to 1. These can be a bit tricky. Greater than or equal to is a closed circle on 1, and you're going to shade this way. If you have questions on those two, you need to ask them. If not, you're ready to move on to the homework.